In case you missed it, 50 Cent recently shared his thoughts on Diddy's recent lawsuit, and his remarks stunned everyone. A Texas-based lawyer just announced he is defending 120 different victims who were all allegedly hurt and assayed by Diddy at different times in life. But if that's not wild enough, the lawyer claimed that more than 3,000 people had come forward to him to claim how Diddy allegedly has mistreated them for years. And it gets crazier because 50 Cent also claimed that he knows about more than 50 new victims who are cooperating with him on his coming documentary on Diddy. And it looks like he's about to make things even worse for Diddy because he came with all the receipts to back up his wild claims. At this point, I think we can all agree that Diddy is on some Avenger-level villain energy because he's been out here acting like a full-on menace. It's crazy just when we thought that his alleged crimes couldn't get possibly any worse than the things that the feds revealed in their indictment documents against him. A Texas attorney, Tony Busby, dropped a bombshell. He's dropping over 120 people claiming they were harmed by Diddy over the years. And here we thought that the 8 civil lawsuits against him were bad enough, but 120 victims, that's next level crazy, like straight out of a horror film. During a press conference, Busby revealed that over 3,000 people have come forward with accusations, and he's planning to start filing lawsuits across different states in the next 30 days. Now, before anybody jumps to conclusions about people just looking for a quick payday, the lawyer said he and his team have spent serious time vetting these claims. So far, they got legitimately around 120 full cases.
At this point, more than 3,285 individuals contact us with people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases.
If the rumors are true and Ben Affleck starts naming other individuals allegedly involved in helping Diddy harm his victims, Hollywood could be on the verge of an explosive scandal. The situation is already precarious, but if major names are implicated, things could spiral into complete chaos. Given the powerful people who may be linked to this, it's almost certain that some key players will try to distance themselves or even attempt to block the release of any incriminating information. It wouldn't be surprising if high-powered lawyers step in to either keep these names from being released or push to have court records sealed. In the world of fame, money, and influence, this case could unearth deep-rooted connections that many would prefer to remain hidden. The idea of influential figures being dragged into this lawsuit is already causing a ripple effect across the industry, with whispers of who might be involved spreading like wildfire. The attorney representing some of the victims provided additional details about their experiences, and they were nothing short of horrifying. One particular account stands out: a pregnant woman who claimed she attended a Diddy event, avoiding alcohol because of her condition. She believed she was safe, but according to her testimony, one of her regular non-alcoholic drinks was spiked. She blacked out shortly after consuming it, and when she regained consciousness, she found herself in bed with Diddy. The most disturbing part of her account is that she claims he allegedly assaulted her so violently that she was left in severe physical pain. The gravity of these allegations, combined with the involvement of influential figures in Hollywood, is setting the stage for a scandal that could rock the industry to its core. The idea that such high-profile individuals could have aided or turned a blind eye to such behavior adds another layer of complexity to this case. It's not just about Diddy anymore. If Affleck does indeed have knowledge of others who may have been complicit, it could unravel a web of deceit and abuse that spans far beyond just one man. The case is already receiving widespread media attention, and the involvement of legal teams aiming to protect the identities of powerful individuals suggests that there's much more at stake than just Diddy's reputation. The fear of public exposure could cause a frantic scramble to suppress any damning evidence, but in an era where victims are increasingly empowered to speak out, such efforts may not succeed. The fact that the allegations include such graphic and terrifying accounts, particularly of a pregnant woman who was allegedly assaulted while unconscious, makes it all the more critical for justice to be served. This lawsuit has the potential to become one of the biggest scandals Hollywood has ever seen, with shocking revelations, powerful players involved, and a dark undercurrent of abuse that could bring long-hidden secrets to light. The stakes couldn't be higher, and all eyes are on what comes next as the public waits to see whether these names will be revealed and how deep this rabbit hole truly goes.
Instance, an individual, this time not a minor, attended a group dinner, allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. She blacked out, and she woke up in the same bed, again allegedly, with Mr. Combs in his mansion in Miami. Her were torn and sore. And I could go on. I mean, literally, you're sensing a theme here.
As shocking as it is, the idea that Diddy allegedly spiked drinks doesn't really surprise anyone at this point. It seems to be part of his pattern. Massey's lawsuit also revealed that Diddy allegedly pressured victims into taking substances before these freak-offs, even when they were obviously unwilling little rods. Doing this to anyone is terrible, but doing it to a pregnant woman whose body is already working overtime to bring new life into the world is just beyond cruel. Lawsuit also stated that Diddy allegedly did terrible things to women after spiking their drinks at his parties. In addition, other women who have accused Diddy of sexual assault have related similar experiences, with some cases going back to the early 1990s. Following Cassie's lawsuit, a woman named Joey Dickerson claimed Diddy doing that in the early 1990s, claiming that in 1991, while she was a college student, Diddy had saw her and recorded it without her consent. Joy stated that the event took place when she was attending Cruz University and Diddy had been putting moves on her. She wasn't interested at first, mainly because she had heard rumors about how poorly he treated women. However, she eventually decided to go on one date with him, during which he allegedly spiked her dream drink. According to reports, the complaint alleges Combs intentionally darred Dickerson Mill, leaving her unable to stand or walk. The suit said she left her drink unattended with him at the restaurant, and afterward, under alleged pressure from Combs, she took a hit from a blunt. They then drove to a music studio. The suit stated when Dickerson Mill couldn't exit the car, Combs allegedly took her to a place he was staying to saw her, according to the filing. But that was not all that he did to her allegedly, because she also claimed a lawsuit that Diddy had made a video of him assaying her, and he shared it around. Reports have it that days later, a male friend named Devont Swing, a member of the popular 90s R&B group Jodic, revealed to Joey that he viewed an adult tape along with other people. According to the suit, Joey said Swing feared his band would lose its record deal if he spoke against Combs. She had a lot of support from fans when she filed her lawsuit, so she released a statement saying, "I'm so thankful for the bravery of the other women that came forward. The Adults Are Survivors Act, which opened up the filing window to seek justice, and the unwavering support from my attorneys. For 32 years, the only people I have been able to confide in were my close friends and therapists. I feel like the darkness has been lifted, and I can now freely pursue my full potential." But this is interesting because Cassie's case and Joey's are very similar. Cassie describes how Diddy essentially forced her into the relationship against her will, and then either pampered her or cheated on her while he watched and recorded everything. In fact, 50 came out and said that Diddy used to send out the videos he took of Cassie with other men.
Up on the shit after the main shit.
Right.
And it'll be like, matter of fact, they sent me the girl pictures, like pictures of the girl, like, not the shit that y'all saw. Worse, way worse.
Wow. Oh, you kidding me up?
Like penetration pictures and
Nah, come on.
50 Cent, also known as Curtis Jackson, reportedly called Diddy after learning about some controversial videos being circulated, wanting to understand who was behind their release. During the conversation, 50 Cent became suspicious based on Diddy's response, which led him to believe that Diddy himself was responsible for sending the videos around. Although the exact content of the videos remains undisclosed, they are believed to contain sensitive or potentially damaging material involving high-profile figures, possibly even targeting 50 Cent or others in the entertainment industry. This revelation angered 50 Cent, as it not only represented a professional betrayal, but also highlighted the cutthroat nature of trust in the industry. Known for being outspoken, 50 Cent did not hesitate to make his suspicions public, potentially escalating tensions between the two. The idea that someone as influential as Diddy could be involved in such behavior shocked many, but 50's instincts and experience in the industry quickly led him to connect the dots. This incident could mark a significant turning point in their already complex relationship, possibly leading to a larger public feud. With powerful figures like Diddy and 50 Cent at the center of the controversy, the situation has the potential to create significant repercussions across the entertainment world as the public waits to see how this drama unfolds and what further implications it might have for both men.
I really kind of felt like those photographs not happening because of Cassie. I felt like it was happening because of Puffy.
Right. Oh, wow.
You know, because when a girl moves from a man and she upgrades, niggas be insecure, you know what I'm saying?
As anticipated, Diddy's attorneys refuted Joy's claims, claiming that this last-minute action is an example of how a well-meaning statute can be twisted to the contrary. It turns out that Cassie was not the only lady Diddy did this to, and it's simply awful. The 32-year-old tale that Miss Dickerson told is untrue. Diddy's lawyers will need to come up with something better than that because it's the same events they used with Cassie's lawsuit. At first, they claimed Diddy wasn't admitting to anything, but to their surprise, he settled, so saying he's not admitting guilt probably isn't going to have the impact they hope it will. And guess what? Joey's lawsuit wasn't the only one. Another bombshell was dropped when a woman named Jane Doe accused Diddy and singer Aaron Hall of allegedly assailing her and her friend. Jane Doe revealed that they had all met at an event organized by MCA Records, according to her aunt, and that they had been very charming throughout the evening, offering drinks and being charming. They then invited the ladies to an after-party at Aaron's place. According to reports, while at Hall's apartment, Jane Doe was offered more drinks and forced into an intimate relationship. After Combs had finished his business, Jane Doe lay in bed, shocked and traumatized, while she was attempting to get dressed. Hall allegedly barged into the room, pinned her down, and forced Jane Doe to be intimate with him, but it was worse than that because according to reports, Diddy and Aaron then took turns to saw her and her friend at the same time. It gets even worse though, because days later Combs went to the home where Jane Doe and her friend were staying, became irritated and allegedly asked and choked Jane Doe until she passed out. Combs was allegedly looking for the friend because he feared she would tell the girl he was with at the time again. Y'all, this backs up what Cassie said about her time with Diddy and how he would often put hands on her after saying her repeatedly. Well, it looks like Cassie had this woman's back, because her lawyer has commented on this and said, "In my experience handling say cases, it is not uncommon for other victims to come forward once the first brave survivor makes public allegations concerning a high-profile perpetrator." Now again, Diddy is denying this lawsuit and the allegations that come with it, and his lawyers did the whole thing about how the women are only trying to shake Diddy down, and all that his lawyer said because of Mr. Coles's fame and success, he is an easy target for anonymous accusers who lie without conscience or consequence for financial benefit. The New York legislature surely did not intend or anticipate that scammers would take advantage of the Adult Survivors Act. The public should be wary and not jump to believe these false claims, but it appears that the pregnant victim was right when she claimed that Diddy had spiked her drink during the party because, as I mentioned earlier, that seems to be his signature move. However, it gets worse because, according to page 6, one of the 120 victims who came forward states that they were only 9 years old when Diddy allegedly assaulted them. This is extremely sick. According to page 6, the lawyer Tony Busby claims that the 9-year-old was taken to an audition with Bad Boy Records in New York City, with other boys present as well. All of the children were vying for TV or music careers, with promises of "I'll make you a star." According to Busby, this person was allegedly saw by Sean Combs and a few other individuals at the studio with the promise that they would hold his parents and himself accountable for landing a record deal. He also mentioned another victim, who was 15 at the time, who was flown to New York City to attend a party where she was drugged and then taken to a private room allegedly in front of Mr. Combs. Busby continued, this female individual saw that another individual took turn. Her page 6 reported that Busby said that dozens of allegations are involved violent essay, facilitated intercourse with the controlled substance, dissemination of video recordings, and saw of this is just sick on so many levels. But again, it's not the first time that Diddy has been accused of allegedly saying AER, because according to a lawsuit filed against him by Jane Doe last year, he allegedly saw her in his music studio along with some of his friends. She claimed that she had been picked up by Harvey Pierre in a bar on Diddy's behalf. Interestingly, though, Harvey also has essay allegations against him while he was working for Diddy at Bad Boy Records. According to reports, the law who filed the New York Supreme Court accuses Harvey Pierre, a former president of Bad Boy Entertainment and Bad Boy Records, of engaging in a year-long pattern of grooming the unnamed assistant, leading to plaintiff and SAF from approximately 2016 to 2017. The company released the statement saying the allegations are from many years ago that were never brought to the attention of the company. Either the plaintiff or the executive are current employees of the company. We are now investigating their allegations, and our top priority is the safety and well-being of our employees. So I guess it wasn't completely shocking that Harvey Pierre was named in the lawsuit. But anyways, back to the lawsuit itself. The documents went on to say that Mr. Pierre III, as Salon and another gentleman, then escorted the high schooler to a private jet, which flew them to Tarboro, New Jersey. There were SUVs awaiting the group at Tator, and the four of them were driven to Daddy's house recording studio, a studio famously owned and operated by Mr. Combs and Bad Boy. While at the studio, Mr. Combs and his associates, including Mr. Pierre, plied Miss Doe with substances. As the night wore on, the 17-year-old Miss Doe became more and more created eventually to the point that she could not possibly have consented to having intimacy with anyone, much less someone twice her age. He continued, while at the studio, Miss Doe was essayed by Mr. Combs, the third ising of Mr. Pierre in that order. While Mr. Combs was essaying Miss Doe, he complained that he could not get off unless she pinched his apples as hard as she could. Mr. Combs then watched on as a third Aislinn, who Miss Doe had not even realized had begun, Miss Doe, and she told him to stop after third selling was finished. Mr. Pierre took his turn and then forced her to give an action during which Miss Doe was choking and struggling to breathe. The lawsuit also claimed that after Mr. Pierre finished, he left Miss Doe alone in the bathroom. She eventually got her bearings and lay on the floor, her privates hurting. She needed assistance getting out of the building and back into a car, but she has very little memory of her transportation home and only remembers being in her car early in the morning. This case has left everyone completely shaken, and fans are still in shock that he could have done something so cruel to anyone, much less a minor. The debut thing is spiking drinks and forcing his victims to use hard and illegal substances. Goes on to demonstrate that Cassie was correct, because in her case, she was the first to reveal their inhumane practices. Before experiencing the FOS, Mr. Combs always gave Miss Venter and the group a lot of medications. The Kenneys stated the same thing in their indictment documents, where they wrote that freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasting multiple days, and frequently involved multiple commercial sex workers. During these horrific encounters, Miss Venter was given excessive amounts of easy marijuana and alcohol, which allowed her to disassociate. It became commonplace to receive IV fluids in the days following a freak-off in order to recover from the excessive substances pushed upon her. At times, the victims were unaware that the Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to keep them compliant and obedient. After freak-offs, Combs stored tapes of kids having sex with commercial adult workers. The victims usually received IV fluids to recuperate from the physical strain and drug use. It's unbelievable to imagine that Diddy might have coerced a 9-year-old into freak. Ops is just insane to consider, especially since it appeared that the parents knew about it. However, 50 Cent claims that he has more than 50 new victims that he is working with on his documentary. According to him, all of these victims have agreed to cooperate with the federal government for their investigation and may testify against Diddy during the trial. It is unclear if these victims will sue Diddy, but one thing is certain: this nightmare is far from over, and fans have been commenting on 120 more victims. Diddy was a menace. Give him the chair and release the documentary right away. This lawyer just stated that Diddy's youngest victim was years old. Get all the B's and everyone who ever attended a Diddy party too. I'm sorry, that man is a monster. I don't give a what he did. That ninja don't ever deserve to see the light of day again, and 25 of Diddy's victims were children. Oh my gosh, the youngest was. I'm not shocked that R. Kelly did the same things. This is terrible, you guys, and we're devastated. But I wanted to know how you feel about Diddy getting exposed. Please let me know, and then watch this next video. Music.